At 50, money gets louder. Not because you suddenly got bad with money, but because the timeline shrinks. Your paycheck might be the highest it's ever been, and yet the margin for error is the lowest. One job change can take longer. One health issue can get expensive fast. One helpful decision for family can snowball into years of payments. And the scary part is this: most retirement plans don't fail from one big mistake. They fail from a handful of small, normal decisions made on autopilot. So today, we're doing something simple. We're going to audit your 50s. Not with guilt. Not with hype. With a clear checklist of the biggest money traps that show up in this decade, and how to sidestep them before they become permanent. Here's the central question: in your 50s, what decisions quietly cut your future income in half without you noticing? Because in this decade, the goal isn't get rich. The goal is remove weak links. You don't need a perfect budget. You don't need a genius stock pick. You need to stop the leaks, protect your timeline, and build flexibility. In the next 10 minutes, you'll learn the 10 traps that hit hardest in your 50s, why they're so common, even for high earners, a simple math framework to measure the damage, a practical action list you can implement this week. This is general education, not financial advice, but it may save you years. Let's talk about why your 50s feel different. In your 20s and 30s, time is your biggest asset. Mistakes have room to heal. You can pivot careers. You can relocate. You can restart. In your 50s, 3 mechanics change. 1, your recovery time gets shorter. If you take a financial hit at 32, you might have 30 other years to recover. At 55, you might have 10 years until you want work to be optional. 2, your costs can become less flexible in midlife. You may be supporting more people at once. Kids, parents, and sometimes both. Plus bigger insurance, bigger house maintenance, and sometimes medical stuff. 3, your money needs a job description. In your 50s, every dollar should have a purpose: safety, cash buffer, growth, retirement investments, flexibility, tax diversification, and access protection, insurance, and estate basics. So the traps we're covering today all break one of those 4. Here are the 10 money traps to avoid in your 50s with a new lens: lifestyle inflation that becomes permanent, the late start, contribution gap, treating high, underestimating job, search time, high interest debt that steals contributions, family subsidies without boundaries, tax concentration, only one type of account, ignoring in case it matters most, not enough dating beneficiaries and documents. Not a financial goal. No losing. Let's make it real. Meet Angela, 52. She lives outside Atlanta, works in operations for a large company. She makes about $135,000 a year. Solid career, solid life. On paper, she feels fine. She has a 41 with $240,000 a home worth around $520,000 mortgage balance and $2,000, 2 kids, 1 finished college, 1 still in school, 1 parent starting to need help. Then life does what it does. First, her company restructures. She gets severance, but it takes 7 months to land a comparable job. During that time, 3 things happen. She keeps spending like nothing changed. Same subscriptions, same dining out, same travel. Because this is temporary, she taps credit cards, just for now. A few thousand becomes 18,000. She pauses her 41 at contributions. And because she's stressed, she never restarts them when she gets hired. Now fast forward 2 years. Angela is employed again, but her cash flow is tighter because of debt payments. Her retirement contributions are lower. And she's thinking, maybe I'll just work longer. That's the trap. Not that she's irresponsible. That the system punishes drift. And drift is what your 50s can't afford. So let's break down the math behind what happened to Angela and what to do differently. We'll use simple assumptions, not perfect, just useful. Step 1, the contribution gap. Angela is 52. Let's say she plans to retire at 67. That's 15 years. If she invests $30,000 per month into retirement, 401k, IRA, or taxable, and earns a 6.5% average return, she could end up with roughly $1,000 in his month for 15 years at $290,310 ballpark. Now the trap: pausing contributions for just a couple years. If Angela pauses for 2 years, she doesn't just miss $24,000 of contributions. She also misses growth on those dollars. Her outcome isn't down $24,000. It's down more like $35,000, $45,000 depending on timing and returns. That's trap 2. The late start gap time is still working, but less forgiving. Step 20, credit card interest as a guaranteed negative return. Now the 18,000 credit card balance. At say 22% APR, if she pays the minimum, it can drag on for years. Even if she pays aggressively, let's say $600 per month, she's still sending a big chunk to interest early on. Think of it like this: Paying off a 22% APR card is like earning a risk-free 22% return. There's no ETF that offers that. This is why high-interest debt is a retirement killer in your 50s. Step 3. The home equity illusion. Angela's home equity might be around home value. The 530,000 minus mortgage salaries are to 310,000 equity, but equity is not a paycheck. To use it, she usually has to sell the home and buy rent something else, or borrow against it, which adds a payment. So if her retirement plan is, the house will save me, that's not a plan. That's a hope. The math lesson of your 50s is simple. Cash flow beats net worth. Because retirement is funded with income streams, not Zillow screenshots. Here are the common mistakes I see people miss in this decade, plus the fix. 1. Permanent lifestyle inflation. Bigger car. More eating out. We deserve it. Maybe you do. But lock it to a rule. Raises fund goals first, upgrades second. 2. Treating job loss like a short inconvenience. Historically, job searches can take longer later in career. Fix. Keep a bigger cash buffer than you had at 35. 3. Family help without a contract or a cap. Helping isn't the problem. Undefined help is. Fix. Set a maximum amount and a clear end date. 4. Tax concentration. If all your money is in one bucket, your options shrink. Fix. Learn the difference between pre-tax, Roth, and taxable money. FIV beneficiaries and paperwork. Neglected beneficiary forms can matter as much as wills. Fix. Review beneficiaries on retirement accounts, insurance, and bank accounts yearly. None of these require perfection. They require attention. Visual pacing suggestion. Voa 18 to 25 images. Action steps 9,1100. Here's a practical checklist. General education. Only use it to start conversations and build your plan. Step 1. Build your 50s cash rule. Start with 1 month of expenses in a high yield savings account, then aim for 306 months if your job is volatile or commission based. Consider 6-12 months. Step 20. Lock retirement contributions on autopilot. Increase fortive at 1% every 60 and 90 days if available. Capture the full employer match first. If you're eligible, consider Roth options, Roth IRA or Roth 401k. If you're not eligible for direct Roth IRA contributions, learn about Roth conversion rules with a tax pro. Step 3. Kill high interest debt with a deadline. Write down balance APR minimum payment, then pick a payoff date within 24 months if possible. Step 14. Run the reality check. Ask, what will it cost to maintain this house over the next 10 years? Does it work if someone can't do stairs? If you sold it, what would housing cost after selling, fees, and moving? Step 5A. Do the boring but high-impact admin day. Once a year, update beneficiaries, store passwords, securely confirm insurance coverage basics, life, disability. Umbrella may apply. Make sure both spouses, partners know where everything is. One Saturday of admin can prevent a decade of damage. Here's a practical checklist. General education only. Use it to start conversations and build your plan. Step 1T. Build your 50s cash rule. Start with 1 month of expenses in a high yield savings account, then aim for 3-6 months. If your job is volatile or commission-based, consider 6-12 months. Step 20. Lock retirement contributions on autopilot. Increase 4 out of 1% every 60-90 days if available. Capture the full employer match first. If you're eligible, consider Roth options, Roth IA or Roth 401k. If you're not eligible for direct Roth IRA contributions, learn about Roth conversion rules with a tax pro. Step 3. Kill high interest debt with a deadline. Write down balance APR minimum payment, then pick a payoff date within 24 months if possible. Step 4. Run the home reality check. Ask, what will it cost to maintain this house over the next 10 years? Does it work if someone can't do stairs? If you sold it, what would housing cost after selling, fees, and moving? Step 5. Do the boring but high-impact admin day. Once a year, update beneficiary, store passwords, securely confirm insurance coverage basics, life, disability. Umbrella may apply. Make sure both spouses, partners know where everything is. One Saturday of admin can prevent a decade of damage. Your 50s are not about panic. They're about precision. The traps aren't exotic. They're normal. Spending that silently expands contributions, that get delayed, debt that steals your best investing years, home equity that looks like a plan but doesn't pay bills, and paperwork and taxes that remove options later. If you do nothing else, do this. Build cash buffer, automate contributions, eliminate high interest debt, create tax flexibility, update the boring documents. Now I want to hear from you. Which trap feels most realistic in your life right now? Lifestyle, family help, debt, taxes, or the house? Drop one word in the comments. If you want more no hype, step-by-step money videos for real life, hit subscribe.